listening to Yes, Quit Your Day Job. On today's episode, we're joined by someone whose story is as raw and powerful as her music, Lindsay Manfredi. She's the bassist for multi-platinum band Cold, a solo artist, a mental health advocate, and the author of the book Unfuckwithable. In this episode, she opens up about the heartbreak that's inspired her next book, The Girl Who Cried Love, and how she's learned to turn devastation into art. We talk music, survival, riding through the pain, and the fire that it takes to heal. Let's get into it.
Hey, welcome back to Yes, Quit Your Day Job. I'm your host, Seven Dunbar, and today I'm joined with Lindsay Manfredi. For listeners who may not know your full story, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, my name is Lindsay, and I play bass for Cold, and I'm an author. I have a book out called Unfuckwithable, A Guide to Inspired Badassery, and a new book coming out in September called The Girl Who Cried Love, A Pivot to Self-Worth. I'm just a girl in Los Angeles and hanging out, playing music, doing things.
I love that. How did your journey into music first begin?
Well, it began over 20 years ago. I just always played music and loved music, and I grew up in the 80s and 90s, so I had the best music, and I always wanted to be a part of that. So, it started with my dad's old classical Alvarez in a Mel Bay chord book. And then
Oh, wow.
over the years, just I got lucky. I got a phone call from one of my favorite bands, and I got the gig playing bass for them.
I love that. Do you remember like the moment that you knew this was for you, what you were meant to do?
No, because I played music for a while, then I stopped playing music, and I was a body piercer for a while, and then I went to
That's
IU,
right.
and I got my degree in communication and business, and thought I was gonna. I've always played music in the background. There's always been a band. There's always been something that I was working toward, but I didn't know that I would ever have the opportunity that I got almost 12 years ago. So the fact that I get to play with the band Cold, who was very established and just a brilliant band, is something that I never imagined that I would be doing when I was a kid. I thought I would always be like the front person and be the singer and that whole thing.
Yeah. What was it like stepping into an established band like Cold? Like, did you feel pressure to live up to a legacy, or did you kind of carve out your own space immediately?
Yeah, of course you feel that pressure. Like, can I do it? I never touched a 5-string bass, as a matter of fact. And I even bought a Warwick 5-string, and I couldn't, because I had always played on a 4-string. And Scooter was like, you don't have to worry about a 5-string, just do your thing. And then I started, I was able to carve my own presence in the band.
Nice.
Pretty early on, but yeah, definitely a lot of learning, a lot of pressure, but I don't feel that pressure anymore, of course.
That's good. Do you have like a favorite tour memory or a moment on stage that stayed with you?
Every tour is a tour memory, if that makes sense. I remember the first time like playing the Troubadour was pretty incredible. The first time we played the House of Blues in Anaheim, like the Gramercy. Like there are certain venues, like my whole life I've always wanted to play. So when we've gotten to do things like that, those have been really special. But all in all, it's all memorable.
Yeah, I definitely. I haven't done Troubadour or House of Blues in Anaheim. I've done a few House of Blues, like we did Myrtle Beach and New Orleans and Orlando. But I did do the Gramercy, and that was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool.
It's a great venue.
How have your experiences with Cold shaped you? Like not just as a musician, but as a person?
Well, I think that the biggest thing with Cold is their fan base is so absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
So having that kind of a fan base has just helped me become a better person, all in all. The acceptance and the devotion and the people who come to shows and continue coming to shows and meet us year after year after year. Ultimately, they become a support system and a family support system. So that's definitely shaped me. They've always been supportive of my endeavors outside of cold. It's like writing books, and I make candles and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So being in cold has really opened up a lot of opportunities. And I also get to live my dream. I get to be on stage and I get to tour in a tour bus and get to meet great people. And the music industry is so small. So it affords me opportunities that I wouldn't have had otherwise.
Yeah. I, I was really impressed. I had a lot of fun. So obviously I read parts of your book, but I think I really got to experience your whole book when we were recording the audiobook version of it. And that was such a cool experience for me because you and I just became friends, and that it was such a cool way to like really get to know you as a person and hear those stories in the book, but then also talk to you like outside of that about it. It's such a bold, like raw and empowering book. What made you want to write the book?
I just for hope, I guess. And I was learning all the lessons I was talking about in the book when all that was going on. And even I'm an artist, and I feel like artists, we create through fire. And even with
Yeah.
the new book, The Girl Who Cried Love, it's my love life. Like I'm sharing these devastating stories that helped me become who I am, and like for looking for love in all the wrong places. And ultimately, it's like a letter to myself. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm dealing through all of this stuff, and I'm searching for hope, and I'm searching for answers, and somebody's got to be there with me. Somebody has to be going through the same thing. How can I help?
Right.
How can I
Yeah.
express myself in a way that other people are like, damn, yeah, this makes sense. I'm not alone.
Yeah. What kind of speaking to that with Unfuckwithable, what was the hardest chapter there for you to write and why?
Ooh, that's a great question. Unfuckwithable, I don't even know. Was going through a breakup at the time I started that. Yeah, I don't know if there was a hard chapter. And I mean, I know that you saw me break down a couple times when I was talking, I think, about Girls Rock in Indianapolis. I feel like sometimes those are tears of gratitude, but with The Girl Who Cried Love, it's fucking devastating, to be honest.
Oh,
That's why it's been so hard for me to edit it. Like I had to take last week off because it's just kind of soul crushing. I mean, in the end, it's not as soul crushing, but getting through these stories of like, wow, I went through that and I did that and I'm still
yeah,
okay. Everything's gonna be okay.
I'm sure like revisiting that, I can only imagine.
It really
Um,
sucks. It
yeah.
really sucks. It's like why can't I just write a great book about like hope and love and da, 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 da. I have to just kind of drag myself back through this past in order to like make amends with it, I guess.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head with that though. Like you could write just a happy feel good book, but this is really, you mentioned it being a letter to yourself, but also other people that are going through the same thing, and I think that that's really important to be able to connect with people. I can relate to that hopefully through music. But to do that on that level, I think is really just awesome for sure.
Well, we'll
Um,
see.
yeah,
We'll see how it comes out, how it turns out.
yeah. Are there any personal experiences or events that inspired the new book?
Well, actually, the book was, and I talk about this in the afterword. It was really inspired by a story you're going to hear in the book where I was engaged to somebody and, said that this was the one and I'm in love and I'm going to be doing this. And it was right before I met my ex-husband, and it just wasn't the one. And so my girlfriend and I were on a trip, moving my things from Columbus, Ohio, literally a week after I had moved them there. So we're moving
Oh,
them back
wow.
to Indiana, and we were joking, and we were like, "Oh yeah, I'm the girl who cried love." So that
Oh,
was, almost 20 some. It was 20 some years ago,
yeah.
and I always knew I was going to write the book, but I have almost 20 years of experience to actually do it. And I, again, just went through a breakup where I thought it was going to be the person, like my life person, and it
Yeah.
wasn't. So it's like, once again, I called love. But it was the story and the relationship that shaped me the most, of like never feeling I was good enough, uh, trying to kind of put on an act on what this person would want to see versus me being my true self. And also, like, is there anything wrong with me? Maybe there's nothing wrong with me, even if I don't make the best decisions sometimes, and mainly around alcohol and drugs, which is why I chose to get sober. And so there's just been a lot of self exploration, which is why the book had to come out.
Okay. You've been very open about your mental health journey. Was that always easy for you?
I think so. I think that I've always been pretty open. I think that I've gotten a lot more real about it in the last 6 months, instead of like, oh, I'm just literally not always happy. And before, everything I would post would be happy. Like, oh, this is great. Life is great. Da, 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 da. When really it's just like, it's been a rough couple of years.
Yeah,
And so I just felt like
for
I needed to
everybody.
get,
Yeah.
yeah, I really felt like I just needed to get honest in order to help me kind of evolve.
Wow. How do you take care of yourself while touring and balancing? You mentioned music and you're making candles and you're writing books. Like, how do you balance all those creative projects and still be a very actively touring musician?
Well, I feel like my life is like, my year is segmented into, okay, I have from this time to this time to get this done. And then when touring happens, it's just nonstop tour. And then when I get home, I have this time to this time to get this done. And then I have like little trips planned here, and I go see friends, and I travel, and oh, I'm a month and a half out from tour, then it's all focused on tour stuff. So that's really how it is. Everything I can do in between touring, I try to do, and then prepare for those tours. But when I'm on tour, it's just all tour. I don't really do anything else but focus on getting enough rest, putting on a great show.
I love that. So basically really good time management and being able to put your energy into whatever project it is that demands it right now, and you just go all in
Mhm.
on that. And
Right.
just, yeah, I admire that, because so many artists, myself included, that's not our strong suit at all.
Well, I think that's where the business mind comes in a little bit. Because literally, like last year, I like did this business plan, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna write a book, and I'm gonna start a podcast, and I'm gonna do. You can't. I can't. I can't do the podcast at the same time. I can't edit a book. It's just like,
Yeah.
that stuff can't happen. I can't do anything else when I'm, granted, when I'm in rehearsal space, like I'm running a set once a day leading up to tour for a month and a half, because I have to rehearse. I'm very much, everything goes into that, everything goes into the show. So I can still do some other things while I'm doing that. But like when it comes to something like getting this book done, I cannot focus on anything else other than the book
Just
or
hyper
rehearsal.
focused on it.
I'm hyper focused on one thing at a time, because I really want to start a podcast, and nothing's happening until after this audio is edited, and nothing's happening until after I get off tour,
Okay.
because we have a tour coming up in October. So just one thing at a time, baby, one thing at a time.
But I love that. So this amazing book, you've written it, it's coming out, you're doing the audiobook, and I know you told me you recently recorded that yourself and you're editing that yourself. And um I think that's great because I know you and I have spoken about you're learning as you go. From my perspective, and tell me if I'm wrong, but it almost looks like you're going, well, I want to edit this and I want to do it a certain way. So I don't know how to do that, but I'm going to figure it out. And you jump in head first and you're figuring it out. And you know your resources if you get stuck on something, if all your regions and logic disappears.
Yeah, you've gotten a couple panicked phone calls. I'm like,
Which is fine.
oh, thank you. I'm grateful that I have people I can go to when I find myself in a pickle.
But which I'm happy to help. I'm glad there were things that were able to get resolved easily. But at the same time, like, again, my takeaway from that was like, okay, first, like, let's get your session back to fixed and let's get thing on. But just to myself, I was thinking, like, how cool is that she's doing this? Like, most people wouldn't take that on. They would just either not do it or they would hire somebody else to do it. But you're like, no, I could do this. Like, I'll figure it out. If I get stuck, I got friends I can call. Like, I can do this.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. I mean, I listen to audiobooks a lot. So granted, which is interesting because I've been obsessed with Mark Manson's, it's probably not even a new book anymore, but it's, what's it called? Because I'm listening to it right now. Give me a second. Everything is fucked. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm listening to that now, and I don't know how people do such a great job with having whole sentences without like the little mouth things that you hear.
Yeah.
Like, what are the? I'm like, listen, I'm like, no, because mine's like really cut up because I've got a lot of that. When I recorded it with a U67 Neumann mic, and you can hear fucking everything. So I'm like,
yeah, especially if with that microphone, any bit of compression, you're going to hear every little piece of saliva and lip smack.
I almost feel like I'm not even kidding. After listening to Mark Manson's book, and I'm like, have to get back into mine. I feel like, fuck, I need to redo all of this. But I don't know. I don't know. I just, you never feel like it's really good enough.
I was going to say, part of me wondered, I would get a second set of ears on that to see if you really need to redo it, or, I know as artists, we're very overly critical of our own work, right?
Yes. But I'm just like, fuck it. I got the first one done. I haven't even listened to it. I edited it myself. I sent it to Chris Flowers in Austin. He mixed and mastered it. And I've had people tell me that they really enjoy it. So I'm just going to be like, okay, you know what? Fuck it. I did my best. Here's my little piece of art. It's not, I didn't spend $20,000 in a studio. I did it myself. And it is what it is.
That's awesome.
The story. It's out there.
With your new book, like, what is it that you hope readers are going to walk away with after reading it?
I really hope it makes them look to themselves for fulfillment and happiness. It's about self-worth. It's the pivot to self-worth. It's the pivot to self-love. It's when you get into that mindset of something's wrong with you and you're broken, you're not.
Yeah.
So perspective, I guess.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think I remember this from your first book. You've given like TED Talks, right?
I've done 2 TED Talks, but they weren't on self-worth. They were on female empowerment through the Girls Rock camps, because I was one of the co-founders of Girls Rock Indianapolis. Seems like a lifetime ago. Well, I'm not a part of that organization anymore. Obviously, I live in Los Angeles, and that's in Indianapolis. But I was one of the co-founders of the Girls Rock Camp Alliance, who brought this nonprofit Girls Rock Camp to different cities. They're all over the world now. And we did it for Indianapolis. So we developed our 501c3. We held the camp, and it was a really empowering space for girls, and now it's campers because we have to be all PC. And so it was just this space where there wasn't any male influence and the campers got to just be themselves and be silly and fun. And it was just a really supportive environment. And they we helped create their bands. They created their own original song throughout the week, and they made zines, and it was a whole
Wow.
project for these girls. And then they perform their song in front of an always sold out show at the end of the week, which was really cool. And I'm very proud to be a part of that, and having had the opportunity to be a part of that.
Yeah, that sounds like such a great experience, and probably a very fulfilling one too, like to share your passions and your knowledge, and then, almost kind of light that fire and then watch it grow and watch it, really become something quickly.
Yeah, it was a beautiful thing. And I think that maybe even when those things that I think that helped me have a greater confidence also just as an adult. Like I talked about in a blog post 2 weeks ago about the gap in the gain. And so very often when we're like looking at our ideal self, and then we've got like what we've accomplished and where we started, and we're always looking at like, oh my God, there's still so much to do getting back to where we want to be, without taking into which is the gap. And then without taking into consideration, like, oh, we've done so much so far, so let's celebrate that. That's the game. So again, everything is about a matter of reframing and perspective. And I still struggle with reframing and still struggle with perspective. So every day, man, every day.
But I love the fact that even though you're still struggling with these things, you're very aware of it, and not just for yourself, but to the point of sharing your journey and your knowledge and your struggles, like, with other people. I think that's an important thing to do. And you touched on this earlier, but I don't think we do that enough. I think a lot of us will create this, social media is the perfect example. Everything's great. Life is awesome. I'm hanging out on the beach. Everything's perfect. And I don't think enough people share like the reality of, we all struggle with things. We all have our ups and downs. And I think by sharing that, you help each other and you empower each other to go, wow, okay, if you're struggling with that, I'm struggling with that. How did you overcome that? Well, here's this thing, and this is how I overcame this, and I think that's really cool. I like that a lot.
Well, thanks. Other people are helping me. I'm seeing other people's stories, which I almost think helps embolden you to tell your own story.
Yeah.
In your own way. Yeah. And it's the same thing with music. That raw honesty, especially working with Scooter. Like those are stories that are helping people, keeping people from committing suicide, and from all this art comes from these gnarly places within us.
It's such a powerful thing, because I remember, I'm sure you've gotten these emails, but there was one point in my career that I got an email from somebody that just was reaching out to tell me that my music stopped them from committing suicide. And it was such a thing where I had to step back and go, oh, wait, this is bigger than me. This isn't just me making songs or having fun. Like it almost felt like a little bit of a weight, because I was like, oh, like I have a responsibility of what I put out into the world, because it affects people in a profound way, and that could go either way. And I think it was the first time where I really realized, like, oh, this isn't just me writing songs and putting them out. Like there's a responsibility behind that.
Yeah, it's gnarly.
If you're enjoying the conversation so far, make sure to like, follow, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform and YouTube. You can also catch all of our past episodes and learn more at YesQuitYourDayJob.com. And if you've got questions, guest suggestions, or you just want to say hi, send us an email at boss@YesQuitYourDayJob.com. We'd love to hear from you. Let's get back into it.
Well, switching things a little bit, just kind of a lightning round of questions real quick. Like, what's one song you wish you wrote?
Oh, it's a song called I swear to God, and I have told so many people I wish I wrote this song, but it is a song by the band Sir Sly, and
Okay.
it's called I wish I would have known you were going to ask this question. Hold on a minute. I need to find it.
No worries at all.
Too Far Gone. It's called Too Far Gone by
Okay.
Sir Sly. It is
I
such
don't.
a fucking incredible song that's it. I wish I would have written that.
Very cool. Um, what's your favorite city to perform in?
San Antonio.
Really?
Yes. Our fans there are out of control, amazing. Anywhere in
So
Texas, to be honest, because we love Texas. We love Texas.
I'm a huge fan of Texas as well, but I was not expecting San Antonio. That's awesome. All right.
Yes, San Antonio's amazing. All our San Antonio fans.
What's your weirdest fan interaction in or outside of San Antonio? Either one.
Okay. I don't even interact anymore, but like I put out a weekly newsletter, and there's one fan who it's kind of creepy sometimes. Like I've taken screenshots and sent them to my best friend. I'm like, this is so weird. Like what? I don't even know how to respond. I could probably take this person off my newsletter, but I feel like that they need what I have to say sometimes. But
Sure.
it's some weird shit. But I mean, for the most part, our fans are really respectful and they don't cross the line. This dude crosses the line a little bit, and it's just like, you don't even know me. What is happening? So there's some very small percentage of the weirdos out there.
Sure, sure. What's one thing most people don't know about you?
I am a complete introvert. I know it doesn't seem like it. Like, I swear to God, I will spend days in my house and not leave.
Is that just not wanting to go interact? You're just your social meters kind of run out, or is it you want to
I
like you're in a safe space to work?
No, I feel like it takes a lot, and I used to be the opposite. Once I literally the last year, like I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go anywhere. I don't want to talk to people. It's a lot for me to do stuff. And I have had stuff like my birthday was on Monday, and I got
Yeah,
ready and
happy
went out.
birthday.
Thank you, thank you. And then Friday night, my friends had this really great night planned for me and my other girlfriend who's dinner. Like we had a like great dinner. We went bowling, but it was everything I could do to not cancel. Like to
Oh,
not
wow.
say, "Oh, I've got stuff to do." Like I was like, "Lindsay, you have to leave your house.
Yeah.
You cannot just stay here." And I have such a beautiful like space and apartment that it's home to me. And like I have to be like, I've got to walk outside and go get my mail.
I, I had moments like that kind of where I was in this relationship for like 10 years and that relationship ended right at the beginning of the pandemic and I was in LA
Mm,
and very strange time all around and it was the kind of thing where I started even like I didn't want to same thing I didn't want to go out I didn't want to do anything with people and then I just started saying yes to things. I just started like people would invite me out and I would not want to go, but I would say yes anyways. And then I started to realize that once I got over that initial probably first 20 minutes, then I had a lot of fun and I was really happy I was there.
I
So
get
I
like
kept
that
doing it.
too. Yeah. I'm not at the yes point. I've got so many. I'm not even kidding. I've got multiple people in my DMs that are like, "Let's get together this week." They're on red. I'm like, no, I'm not ready to be anywhere right now. I guess I don't know, and I think that that's because right now I'm going through a massive self work stage.
Sure.
Like Matt and I are my bestie Matt and I are going to Canada in a
Oh,
couple of
wow.
weeks to see the Deftones and the System of a Down show in September.
That's exciting.
And he was like, he's been bugging me for my passport stuff for the last few days, and I still haven't even gotten him my passport.
Do that quickly.
I know I need to just I've got my passport, but we need to like book flights and all the stuff. And I'm going to do it when I get off of this. It's on my list today, right after my podcast.
Glad you made time for me. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you're on the list.
Good. I made the list.
I live my life off of a list. It's so funny because my friends are like, oh my God, let me see your list. Like I have everything is a list and it has to be marked off. Like, and I have to have it on my notebook and I have to have a certain kind of notebook and it has to be college ruled and I'm ridiculous.
I love these quirks. That's fantastic. Other than Canada and your to-do list, do you have anything musically or personally coming up that you're really excited about?
Yeah, I'm flying into Chicago in a couple of weeks to see my buddy Ryan, and we're gonna go to see Goo Goo Dolls, and then the next like 2 nights later we're going to see Dead Poet Society, which is one of my all-time favorite bands right now, and Chevelle, and then come home for a couple weeks and do the Deftones thing, and then Cold is on tour, and we start at the end of October, and we're doing an East Coast City Winery tour. So we're basically doing like it's not an acoustic set by any means, but it is a reimagined versions of the songs. So we are going to be playing things. Yeah, I can't wait. We're going to be playing Snowblind. We're going to be playing like Better Human, just some of this softer stuff. And Scooter's going to be able to talk a little bit more about what was behind the songs. I apologize. I live at the most asshole section in Hollywood, like the intersection right there. It's the worst.
I was going to say there's been a bit of a few horn honkings.
Oh yeah, that's like my life. When I'm not hearing horn honking, I'm like, what's wrong? But I love it. I was in Texas for 10 days and there was not horn honking, and it was like, this was so weird.
You need that noise.
But anyway, yeah. So anyway, back to the tour. And Sierra Swan, Sierra Swan sang on No One and Witch, and she's been on so many Cold albums. So she's going to be on tour with us, and she's going to be on the piano and doing backup vocals, and it's just going to be a lot of fun.
Awesome. So you said East Coast? Is that going to come to West Coast at all, or LA, or down here in San Diego?
No, it's just a very small run. It's 7 shows, so we're doing like Boston. The schedule is on my thing. Yeah. Nashville, Boston, Chicago, and other. St. Louis is one of them, and then we're going to stop down in New Orleans to do a benefit for our friend who has a fundraising thing. It's called Calm, and it's like a psychosis awareness. She's a therapist for people with psychosis. So we're going to stop by and do that black tie event and then go to another city. So there's some really good things coming up. And then for the rest of the year, I'll probably just be on the promoting my book train, and I don't know, I'll figure something else to do. Maybe I'll start the podcast because we'll have gotten through the book stuff. And there's also a couple children's books that I really kind of want to start working on as well. So maybe that'll keep me busy until my next tour next year. And we're doing a new album as well. So There's a lot going on this year. I'm very busy and very introverted.
Well, when you do your podcast, let me know, and hopefully I can come on as a guest on yours as well.
Absolutely. Yes, you will absolutely. I need to brush up on my interviewing skills, though.
I haven't figured it out yet. I'm getting there.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, speaking of that, actually, I always like to do this thing kind of towards the end of the podcast where I flip it a little bit, and what is one question you would want to ask me?
Okay. what kind of mic do you use so you don't have that when while recording an audiobook?
Yeah. So right
Uh,
now, right now I'm on a Shure. Let's see. I get this one. It's the MV7 Plus, which is a really inexpensive, pretty straightforward podcasting mic, but it's good for just vocals, spoken word, and stuff.
oh, good
Um,
to know.
yeah, when I'm in the studio, I like my favorite mic is still Neumann U87.
Nice.
Kind of a mid range. It is a pretty depending on like what kind of compression settings you have, you may still get that saliva in there. But if I'm doing like vocals, I'm a big fan of the U87. Um, Sony C800. Uh, if I can get access to one, because I think they used to be like, oh wow, it's a $10,000 mic. Now I think they're 15,000.
Oh
So
gosh.
yeah, but they sound like $15,000. That's the thing. So
That's good. I mean, what are you going to do?
yeah,
Uh, are you doing, I know you're doing a lot of production and engineering. How are things with your personal band? And are you doing anything with that?
yeah. So my band is Seven Factor, and I have an EP that I did with Tim Skold, did guitars for it,
Okay.
and then I have a full album that I did with Nero Bellum did guitars. I play guitar like a bass player, so I always bring in other people for the guitars.
I'm a terrible
Um,
guitarist. I get it.
yeah,
Like I can write, use the guitar to write, but when it comes to anything else, I'm what? No,
yeah,
no.
I literally play guitar like a bass player because I'm one of those weird people that bass was my first instrument.
Mm.
And most people I know, they started on guitar until their band needed a bass player and they got picked, right? Like, oh, you're the bass player now.
That's what my ex-husband was like. I want to play guitar. Here's a bass. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. That seems to be the way most people do. But for me, I started on bass. So I play guitar like a bass player. So I definitely, yeah, so the EP was Scold and Nero from Cyclone 9 did some production on that. And then
Nice.
full album that Nero helped me again with guitars and some of his modular synth stuff and reimagining of some of the songs. So that's the next step for that for sure.
Nice. All right. Well, looking forward to hearing that.
I will let you know. Well, cool. Well, but yeah, before we finish, where can people find your stuff? Where can they find your books and your candles and your tour dates? And if they want to
Okay.
send things.
Sendings. Okay. You can find me at lindsaymanfredi.com. And all my handles for social medias are at Lindsay Manfredi. You can find Cold. Sorry, my nose is running a little bit. Um, you can find Cold at Cold Music and then coldarmy.com. And yeah, Cold is everywhere. We're on Facebook and YouTube and all the things.
I love that.
Spotify, Apple. Yeah, come to a show. They're
Yeah, I
very
want
close
to.
to selling out too,
Absolutely
but you
will.
should absolutely come to a show sometime. You've been traveling so much because I feel like the last time you and I had kind of talked, you were in Florida, but now and then you were in Vegas, and then now you're in San Diego.
Yeah. I
And are you
was
coming back? Are you coming back to LA anytime soon?
maybe, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I was in LA for like 4 years, and then when COVID hit, obviously I was with Dean Carr for staying with
Yeah.
him for a while, where
And
you
we
and I
met
met.
through Dean. Yes.
Yeah, we met at Castle Carr, I think.
Mhm.
And then I went to you remember Elizabeth, and so she was living in Vegas, and so when her and I were
Oh
dating,
yeah, yeah.
I moved to Vegas. And then that relationship went its path, and I wound up going to Scottsdale, and then back to Vegas, and then where did I go from there? Back to LA, then back to Vegas. Then I was in Boise, Idaho for a year, which
Oh, you
don't
were?
I didn't really tell too many people, but I left Boise
Why
a
did I
month
think you
ago.
were in Florida?
I'm
Maybe
originally
that's
from
because
Florida.
okay, and maybe because my buddy Dave Kinsler is always in Florida. He's always hops between Florida and Phoenix, so maybe I got my wires crossed there.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I was in Boise,
Crazy.
and then now the company I work for has me in San Diego. So
Well, San
I'm
Diego
happy about
doesn't
that.
suck.
Yeah, no, I haven't spent a lot of time here until now. I've been here a month,
Hmm.
and I'll be here at least until November. And after that, hopefully I stay here, or I could wind up back in LA.
Well, love Los Angeles.
Yeah,
If I do any moving, I'm going to be moving to either like San Clemente or Oceanside.
Oceanside's
I'm
great.
actually
Yeah.
thinking, I know it is great and it's built up so much. And I don't know, I'm closer to like some of my best friends, but also I've got some of my best friends are here too. I don't know. I'm just wondering if if my time here is coming to an end, but we'll see. One foot in front of the other. Right here, right now, I'm here for sure.
For me, my favorite place, which I think I'm going to wind up back in, is Redondo Beach.
Oh, see, I want to be closer to the ocean and
Yeah,
not
I
smack
grew
in
up
the
on the
middle of
ocean in
Hollywood.
Florida, and so I miss the ocean. I love the fact that I have the ocean right here in San Diego. So,
Yeah.
well, awesome. Well, Lindsay, thank you so much. I'm so glad we were able to connect, and especially with your busy
Same.
schedule and mine. Yeah, thanks for being on and keep us posted on what you're
Well,
doing.
thanks for having me. I appreciate it. And when we get inspired AF, we'll podcast going. We're definitely gonna have you on.
Yes, yes, I look forward to that. Awesome. Well, take care, and
And that's a wrap for this episode of Yes, Quit Your Day Job. Huge shout out to Lindsay Manfredi for sharing her truth, her journey, and her voice with us. Don't forget, her new book, The Girl Who Cried Love, is on the way, so follow her on socials to stay in the loop. And as always, if you found value in today's episode, share it with a friend, tag us online, and leave a comment. Until next time, keep creating, keep showing up, and don't be afraid to quit your day job.